Hey YouTube, it's Aiden / Berg Bob, whatever you want to call me. Here again today with, guess what? Another new Bach bass trombone. I know you guys are going, oh my god, how do you have all these instruments? The answer is, I don't buy them for very much money. I'm not rich, nothing like that. I just happen to find a lot of deals, and I don't keep stuff for super long if I don't want to keep it forever. So I kind of like a rotating assembly of instruments coming in and out, and then I have 1 or 2 instruments that I just keep because they're really good. This is really good. This is a Bach 50 B2. Guess what? I've had 3 of these now. This is the 3rd one. This one is also Corporation era. All my other ones have been too. And this one is a little bit special. So let's go over the special qualities of this instrument. First of all, you might notice this guy, a little hand loop right here. This is a custom D slide that instead of just going out and having a little crook at the top, does this kind of nice guy. The only problem with this is that you have to pull it out a good like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches to get it to D. Otherwise it's just like super flat. E flat, not quite D. That's annoying. Otherwise it's got the stock wrap, it's got these stock valves, obviously they're rotors. Nothing new here. It looks like it's in pretty good shape because it is. The bell has seen some maybe better days, but it's really not bad. I think it's been rolled out after being creased. The engraving or the stamping looks really good, even though it is not quite level, but you know, whatever. That's Bach. No problems with the rotor ports or anything. The slide is not this slide. I have a different slide on it right now. So let's talk about why it has this guy and why it has these white linkages and split levers. My last one didn't have those. I used to own a Holton TR-180 that had been worked on by Larry Minick. Minick with, let me make sure, 1 N, M-I-N-I-C-K. Minick. He was a kind of legendary repairman / fabricator of instruments here in the Los Angeles area from, I don't know, 60s, 70s, 80s, I would say. He's not alive now, but he did a lot of work here for a long time, and a lot of people played instruments that were worked on by him. I've played a few Minick instruments. I've played, let's see, I had my Minick. While back, I've played a Con 72H, no, 73H that had a D valve put on it. I've played, I think, original Con tenor trombone, all made by him. Those are what the Arc Bone by Brass Arc is based on, loosely, I think. I swear I played some other Minicks. Anyway, Minick did a lot of stuff where he would, like, you would bring in a stock instrument like this and be like, hey, can you just make this not suck? And he would, you know, put on some open wrap stuff. He would change the levers and the linkage so that it wouldn't be terrible. The Bach 50B2 coming with, like, roller linkages for just the left thumb, which is just garbage. Like, it is the worst thing ever. It was on my last bell section, and I could basically not play that bell section for more than like 25 minutes before my thumb started to cramp up. And of course, getting in and out of low notes, it was like impossible. This has just a normal thumb and middle finger setup, and he sets them up pretty well. They're pretty comfortable. My Holton was also very comfortable, especially the paddle on the second valve. Just, man, such a good design. And he just like consistently did that for a long time. With instruments, so on this one, I don't think he did a whole lot on the bell section. He probably made part of the slide, and he did the linkage and the levers. There we go. I can use words. And that's pretty much the extent of it on this instrument. He also made his own instruments, did a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to disparage Minick in any way, but like my Holton 180 was not super great. I think he would do work on pretty much any instrument, and sometimes those instruments were just not very good. And I've also seen on the 73H, I think, just wasn't put together very well. The D slide like hit you in the head if you were playing it. I don't know, that was an odd build. So Minick is not infallible by any means, but he did some really cool stuff. And I think there's a lot of his changes to cons, for instance, that actually made it into con production instruments, which is pretty neat. Not a lot of like just repairmen get to do that. Here's the slide. I'm kind of tipping my hand here that I have more than one instrument in here. This is the slide that came with this. This is also a Corporation 50 slide. Nothing special, except that it has also been Minickized. So obviously, first thing first, is this big cross brace right here. That's pretty cool. And then it's got this little thing. I'm not going to comment on that, what that looks like. Basically, trombone slides are not very ergonomic, right? It's just this like right angle thing made out of tubes. And I talked about that in one of my previous videos. This basically makes it so that the slide fits the curve of your hand more. And that's kind of what my, if you have a Yamaha strap or a club strap, like I talked about, the strap actually does this for you and it goes into this place. And it makes the horn more comfortable. And it makes this slide actually very comfortable to use without a hand grip, which is pretty neat. So he put on this stuff. He put in a new lead pipe. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming this is not stock just because the soldering doesn't look quite as clean, but that doesn't mean anything with Bach. And then it's kind of hard to see, but there are no oversleeves on this. They've been removed completely, so it's just slide tubes with the tops on them. And then this has a kind of stock Minick hand brace. I'm going to bring it closer. Usually the hand brace that you hold is the same diameter as all the other braces. It's really thick on Bach's. It's very, very thick. And a lot of people kind of like something thinner to grip onto with their hands. It just makes it easier to play. And so Minick kind of made these things, which is just a lot lighter. It's a lot smaller. It's got like a little plate right here to kind of protect the slide from your hand. A lot of slides tend to wear out in this little area. So that's pretty neat. So it's a lighter slide with a couple improvements. I don't really like light slides so much, especially ones with no oversleeves. And I think and I haven't done it really enough, but I think on the bell section it came with, it's just a little too light. The horn loses some core to the sound, maybe. It doesn't feel like it's a super great match. I'm going to play it some more later. The big thing was I wanted to demonstrate how different valves, different setups affect a low C, for instance. That's going to be my example for today. So this is my 50B that I just got. Just had a video about it. I've been playing this pretty much exclusively for 4 or 5, 6 days, something like that, with the slide it came with. And it is really good. It still waffles between being good and bad. I think because the rotor will start leaking. Right now I just oiled it, so it should be pretty good. But it's just got a big old sound. It resonates a lot. It just feels good. And I'm going to play a couple notes down to low C and then play a loud low C. So with this slide, that low C, man, just goes out and just resonates, feels great. It's pretty open. This is a good setup. The light slide paired with this bell section is actually pretty good. I'm not sure why. Maybe because the bell is heavier. We'll find out. And here is the 50B2. This is the slide that came with that single bell section. This slide plays really well and moves pretty badly. It's not a great slide. But I'm going to play the same notes. So when I get down to one valve, it doesn't feel quite as open as the 50B. All right off the bat, just one valve. And then when I add two, I get this kind of airiness that I feel against my face that won't let the horn really like respond to what I'm giving it. This horn is actually really good. It's a lot better than the other 50B2s I've had, in that it doesn't feel like it's leaking. It doesn't feel like it's just like playing against my face, but it's still not quite as open. But it's still a pretty good sound, I think. I think that sounds pretty good. Now, let's compare it against the bass line. It's a pun, okay? So laugh. Let's pair it against the bass line, which is my main instrument. The one that I should play the most, but I have not played for like a week. My valves were getting slow, and it's just such an arduous process to take them apart, clean them, oil them, put them all back together again that I just haven't done it until today. Now let's play the same notes. So when I really just lean into that low C with a bunch of air on this, it doesn't just kind of go, and the sound doesn't just go like this. It also broadens and gets so much more resonance. It actually kind of hurts to listen to because there's so much sound coming off the side of this bell that's just going, and man, it just feels really, really good because I don't have to change anything with my face or about my air to play those notes. And of course, I can still make him sound pretty loud and I don't want to say nasty, but got that edge to him. But I also don't have to do that. So there's a demonstration of kind of like 3 generations that almost would have followed each other in the, advent of Bach design. We have the start with the single closed wrap, as the 50B was designed. We have the next evolution where someone's like, hey, can't we just fit a valve right there on the wrap, and then we have 2, and they did, and it's not bad. This one especially is very, very good instrument compared to a lot of other 50B2s that are out there and that I've played. And people were kind of happy with that for a while, but they're like, man, I can't play that loud and make it sound good. And also these larger mouthpieces are making these horns back up. So eventually Mr. Orla Ed Thayer came along and was like, hey, check it out. This is awesome. And guess what? It is. This horn is just amazing, and it kind of just blows these other 2 out of the water in most respects, but not all. So there you go, my new 50B2 with a couple Minick modifications and a little comparison between different generations of instrument. See you guys next time.